Welcome to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, the host and senior engagement officer at Merlin, and today's episode features a replay from our Merlin X Spaces. Every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m., you can catch us live on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. We dive into captivating discussions about cryptocurrency and blockchain technology with our engaged audience, special guests, and the founders of Merlin. Please note, these spaces can sometimes experience technical hiccups and end suddenly. It's all part of the experience. Thanks for tuning into the Crypto Market Update, proudly brought to you by Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto.
Yeah, testing. Can you hear me back?
Yep, I got you, dude. So we're going to get right into this thing, guys. Obviously, we're talking about XRP over $1 for the first time since November of 2021. That's 3 years, Johnny Crypto, almost 3 years on the dot. So there's a lot of optimism in the air. What's on your mind? And then we'll get into some articles.
Well, Abs, I'm inviting people, so you caught me at a bad time. So let me just finish inviting. But Abs, it's exciting. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, we've got XRP over $1 for the first time. And what'd you say it was over a year? How many years? 4 years?
Over 1 day, man.
Yeah. Yes.
Over 3 years since 2021.
2021. Everybody's been waiting for this moment. Everybody's been calling XRP a stable coin. But instead, today it showed, my friends, it is not a stable coin. It is ready to let loose. As our good friend Brad Garlinghouse said, Abs, let it breathe.
Absolutely. And you know what's funny, Johnny, and I talked about this yesterday after the show, is that yesterday Brad Garlinghouse basically confirmed 100% that him and his team met with Donald Trump this summer. So we saw Stuart Alderati kind of confirm that. Then we got the positive news from Brad Garlinghouse. Then in the next 12 hours, XRP went from 90 cents to $1.25. I saw it as high as $1.32 on some exchanges. The spread rate was unbelievable. While the prices were pumping, I was seeing completely different rates for XRP depending on the exchange. Uphold, I was seeing one price. Coinbase, I was seeing another. So that's something else I think is kind of interesting about this whole thing. First of all, Johnny, I think you're going to be happy about this. We've officially passed Doge in market cap. We are now the number 6 digital asset in the entire space, which I guess is positive news, but it's like things are correcting back to how they should be, as I like to say. The real question is, does XRP pass Solana this bull run? Solana is currently 100 billion. That would mean XRP at that current price would have to get to $1.92 to pass Solana. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm not going to say it's likely in the calendar year of 2024. But with the way things are moving now, who knows where we could be? My prediction is as good as anyone's who's listening right now. And so with that being said, Johnny, did you sell? Have you sold any XRP yet? That's my question to you.
Oh, boy, that is the $1 million question, my friend. And, of course, I got Merlin. And guess what? Merlin was texting me this morning saying, hey, your first target was hit. I set it up for the fibs. I hit the 0.618. I sold a little bit, Abs, and as always, whenever you sell, it's always hard to hit the sell button because you're afraid that you're going to sell too early, right? That's the human mentality, is how much am I leaving on the table? But the reality is you got to make a plan. You got to stick to your plan because this market's, they're rigged. They're designed to play on our emotions. And I didn't let my emotions get the best of me. I hit the sell button. I made about 137% profit. And at the end of the day, you know what? Whenever you're making that kind of percent profit, you got to put a little bit in the bank. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I got a lot more to go because, having an exit plan doesn't mean you sell it all. You're just selling pieces of it, Abs. And that's the beautiful thing. I still got a lot more to go as long as this thing keeps running up.
Agreed, Johnny. And it's like, think about it. If you don't take any profit, you're not hedging yourself in any direction. But the second that you take profit, you're in a position that when these prices pull back, even in the short term, you can re-enter on the exact same asset. So for example, XRP went to $1.25. Let's say you had some limit orders set this morning. You hit those limit orders and we pull back to $1.10. If you're still optimistic about XRP, you can just take that same US dollar value, invest it right back in XRP. And the most important thing is now you have more exposure. You've actually gained tokens throughout that entire process. So that's why we're talking about Merlin this morning, guys. merlincrypto.com. Check it out. 30 days completely free. You can use Coinbase, Uphold, your ledger. It doesn't really matter, the cold storage device or the exchange. Merlin is going to enhance your crypto portfolio. So get in there, take advantage of our exit plan, take advantage of our transaction history, our news updates, also tax estimates, which people find very helpful. 30 days completely free. So I'm excited to talk about that. Now, did I take profit, Johnny? I guess I'll ask myself that question. A small amount of profit, yes. I had some limit orders set on uphold. I thought as I was going to bed last night, should I cancel some of these limit orders? I left one of them in. They're very small trades, so I felt if I made this plan during a bear market, I should stick to this plan during a bull run. It was very hard to do. I had to grit my teeth to actually go to bed last night. But with that being said, what are some of your thoughts? I mean, Mario put out a great tweet. I actually pinned it in the chat here. It says we're approaching the 0.618 Fibonacci level, and that's significant liquidity at $1.35. I expect a swift moves towards this next level. So we could easily see $1.35 XRP. I don't think that's crazy at all, just based off liquidity. But looking at where we are, Johnny, yesterday I said it to Mario on the show. $1.25 is the 0.618, and it's also the only range where I see significant trading liquidity. So in 2021, we actually traded there for several months, but beyond that, it's just candle wicks straight up in the air. So that's why I predicted we get a short-term pullback at that price. That's what we're seeing this morning. So floor's yours.
Yeah, no, you're not the only one clenching your teeth. My cousin called me this morning. He's like, I can't stop looking at my phone, looking at the price, worried about whether it was going to keep going down after he made his sale. And I said, you know what? Don't worry about it, man. You made a profit. You move on. At the end of the day, I do think, the next stop up will be around the $1.35 area. Again, not financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Please don't do what we do. What you want to do is create your own exit plan, and then you follow it and you stick to it, Abs. And looking at the past history, 135, certainly in that area, we're going to get a lot of trading of hands, right, in that area. And then, of course, we've seen in the past, a nice straight shot probably up into that $1.70, $1.80 range, putting us close to the all of the prior bull run in 2021. So I think I'm not going to say we're going to retest it this year, but I do believe we will definitely retest that $1.80, $1.90-ish, whatever it was, max from 2021. And then if we bust through that one, oh, baby, put your freaking seatbelt on, Abs, because then we're going to test the one that everybody's been waiting for, the 2017 high of the $3.80 range. That's going to be a really exciting time. And I really think what we're feeling here is the Trump effect. At the end of the day, people were hoping and praying that we would get a pro-crypto, pro-innovation, pro-job environment. And I think with Trump winning the election, we're now going to get an administration that's going to do that. Hopefully, Gary's going to resign on Monday. And it's just going to be more and more good news, more catalysts, positive catalysts over the next 3 to 6 months that I think are going to just drive us into euphoria in the crypto space, Abs. I'm super excited about it.
And it all starts with Bitcoin, Johnny. We saw it in 2018, actually, when XRP had that historic price run, did 70,000% gains in 240 days. And it started when Bitcoin broke its all-time high. Now, the timeframes are slightly different, but where I think we are today is we are in November of 2020. That's where we are in November of 2024. We are pre-alt season. XRP last bull market in November of 2020, went from 20 cents to 70 cents in a single month, was sued by the SEC, came back down to 17 cents, and went on to do a 10x. So now we're heading into that same territory without a lawsuit, with adoption, with meetings with the president. Brad Garlinghouse confirmed that via Fox Business yesterday, Johnny. So it's just a completely different ballgame. I think if we head into January above $1.25, it's very likely, even with diminishing returns. Last time we did a 10x, let's say we do a 6x. If we're $1.25, that still takes us to $7.75. So we're talking about significant price targets. Even if we only do a 4x, we're still above $5. So I do think it's a pretty interesting time to be in the XRP community.
Oh, yeah. No question, Abs. There's going to be so much excitement and euphoria. There have been so many people sitting on the sidelines in XRP. You and I know the frustration that they have. We hear it every day on the Good Morning Crypto Show. If you guys haven't checked that out, come check that out every day, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We know that people have been frustrated, but everybody's been sick. The ones who have held on, Abs, have been patient, holding. This is the moment they've been waiting for, to finally see their baby come alive, to finally have some momentum around it. And we have a lot of that right now. And I think, it's going to trade hands. It's going to try to find where that next level of support is. Hopefully I believe it's going to be above $1, somewhere maybe between this, probably around the 0.5 Fibonacci level, which I'm in the car, so I don't know that number. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe Mario has it in front of him. It's probably around $1.10 or so. But somewhere in that. Speaking of Mario, I hope Mario can come up to speak. I see he's in the room here. Mario, love you. Hopefully you can come up. and anybody else for that matter who wants to speak, raise your hand. Come on up. We'd love to chat with you. But I do believe that it is not impossible, Abs. We did see a 10x last time with the lawsuit or the monkey on its back, and that started in November, like you said, dropped all the way down to 17 cents, and we saw the high of $1.80, $1.90. I think sometime in the I want to say the April timeframe, just to give our folks a sense of what to expect. If we assume the same thing, we're probably looking at maybe a new all-time high for XRP somewhere in the February, March, April timeframe. Certainly, that's when I'm going to be clinching my phone, keeping my eyes on it, and making sure that I'm checking my exit plans because I do think we could see some new interesting price discovery in that time period.
I mean, Johnny, hypothetically, and just for the fun of it, let's say XRP outperforms, because this is a narrative that I've been talking about with Mario. I talked about it with Gonzo too. I think maybe the biggest mistake ever made on Good Morning Crypto was underestimating the potential of the 2025 bull run. I say it in that way because I think it's a positive, right? We set realistic expectations. We told people what we think were moderate price targets, but we didn't provide any hopium. Well, what we're seeing right now is even the biggest companies on the planet are predicting 250,000, 550,000, massive numbers that we've never even discussed on Good Morning Crypto. If we apply that to XRP, we're a $50 billion project today. Dogecoin added 30 billion to its market cap in a single week. We just saw that with XRP. We are officially in the we're in the momentum and we're in the movement pre-alt season. So once a lot of these projects break their all-time highs, and maybe that's $1.90 instead of $3.85 for XRP, I think that's when things actually get more volatile. So we're pre-volatility, we're pre all the excitement, and I want to give a shout out to Love Stocks. So Love Stocks, you're going to appreciate this. Today, thanks to Mario, we officially added you as a moderator on the chat. I figured out the mistake I was making, so I'm very excited. I added about 20 moderators to Good Morning Crypto, so I want to say thank you to Mario because I know he's here. That's a big deal because I've been trying to do that for about a year, which is a little bit embarrassing, Johnny, but keeping it real on Good Morning. Keeping it real here, right?
Abs, we know technology isn't your strength. That's all right. That's what we're here for, brother.
Coming from the crypto guy, I'm a crypto guy. How can technology not be my strength?
Well, when it comes to computers, listen, we know it. Listen, you're the best host in the world. Stick to that. Let Mario worry about getting the moderators going. The good news is the show has been, I love the fact that I got so many people commenting how much they love the show, how we've changed their lives, how we've helped them out. I think that's really what it's all about, building the community. We've been able to do that with Good Morning Crypto. I think in terms of getting back to Bitcoin, you're definitely right that I don't want to say we didn't underestimate it. We've always talked somewhere between the 140 and 180 range, or at least that's what I've been kind of assuming and projecting for the 2025 bull run. But the reality is, Abs, with Trump coming in, and if he does set a national Bitcoin storage reserve, dude, the 200K number, it may be a low estimate. Because as I said on the show, what's going to happen is if the U.S. starts buying Bitcoin, that's going to signal to the whole entire world, every single government, like, hey, this is the new gold. And they're all going to start buying it too. Abs, can you imagine 200 governments, let's just say 240 governments, start, or maybe not all, but let's say half, 120 governments buying Bitcoin that is limited to 21 million supply. Do you know what that's going to do to the price of Bitcoin, my friend?
As Michael Saylor would say, Bitcoin does anything but go down.
Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, I know you're going to say I'm nuts. Everybody's going to say I'm nuts, but I won't be surprised if we see Bitcoin. All right, I'm going to say it. Here comes the prediction: $1 million somewhere in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's very, very possible. If again, caveating with if Trump establishes this U.S. reserve Bitcoin national storage, I believe you'll see Bitcoin with all the government starting to buy it. It has to go up, dude. Has to go somewhere between 500 and a million. There's just not enough supply to go around because what that demand and what's great about it is I've been saying this all the time. It's the only asset in the world ever that is completely limited. Gold is not limited because you can buy more. Silver is not limited. Real estate's not limited. You can build more houses. Cash, forget that thing. They print it every single day. But Bitcoin, my friend, 21 million. That's it. And if people want it and governments want it, you got to stake it, steal it from somebody else's, pry it out of their hand. And how do you do that? You bid for a higher price. What does that do? Drives the price up, my friend.
Agree with you, Johnny. And Mario, I want to kick it over to you because you know what else is exciting? This is pre-Gary Gensler resignation. I wonder what that's going to do to the market. So with that being said, I'm going to go to Mario. What do you think is going to happen when Gary Gensler resigns? Probably, next week at the latest.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Listen, chances are the market is already reflecting the resignation of Gary Gensler. I mean, I think the market in general has been reflecting all the changes that we've been hearing about since last week, since obviously getting the news that Trump will be our next president. It's extremely bullish for the crypto space because of all the regulations, all the changes and things that he wants to implement. And so, obviously, as far as XRP being tied with Ripple and being tied with the lawsuit, I think that there's a huge anticipation that what we're going to get is a resignation out of Gary Gensler. And obviously, time has shown us in the past where we have a change in president, and we do end up seeing that resignation come out of the SEC chair. So I think that the expectation is Gary Gensler is going to go. Somebody else is going to be put in his place. That somebody else is going to fit right in with the narrative of now creating positive crypto regulation. And so I think the markets in general have just been reacting that way. The markets have caught up with, for a long time we spent a lot of time in this territory of undervalue, right? So in bull runs, we go into overvalued. In bear markets, we go into undervalued. And for a long time, I mean, Bitcoin was sub 20,000. That's, like very undervalued as far as Bitcoin. So now we've got Bitcoin in the 90s. We've got a supply shock potentially with these ETFs. XRP it's good to see XRP price move because it's finally catching up to the market. Earlier this year, we saw a lot of crypto projects, and Solana was the leader, and it did extremely well. And projects like XRP was just stagnant. So it's really good to see XRP move. It's a chance that XRP has to catch up to the rest of the market. It's a very bullish indicator for alts. We've been seeing Bitcoin just go a little bit sideways, in this $90,000 range. At the same time, the total market cap of crypto is sitting at $3 trillion. We're seeing the total 2 and total 3 increase, which essentially means money is rotating. There's a rotation of capital going from Bitcoin into altcoins. And I am really happy and excited to obviously see XRP finally get the move that it deserves. It's been a long 4 years. The people that have been investors in XRP and believed in this asset throughout these 4 years, kudos to you. It's much deserved. Now this is the time to start to really do those little mini celebrations on our way up. And obviously this is a Merlin Spaces, and I am also live on TikTok. So hi to everyone joining in from TikTok. But this is a great moment of celebration, and obviously having that exit strategy. If you haven't heard about Merlin, merlincrypto.com is the smartest way to track your crypto. You can connect all your wallets and exchanges, create exit strategies, and that's what this bull run should be all about, locking in those profits, Abs.
Agree with you, Mario. And there's a couple of things I want to get your opinion on. So Mario's been here since 2017. And when I say here, I specifically mean in the XRP community. Johnny, feel free to chime in as well. But this is for Mario because I think it's so important. In the last 8 years, yes, you heard that correctly, since 2018, there's only ever been one monthly candle printed larger than the one that we're in right now. That was April of 2021. So there's only been 1 month in the last 8 years where XRP has had more positive price action than we're experiencing today. And we're only sitting here on November 16th. Could XRP finish the month at 70 cents? It's possible. Could we also finish the month above $2? That's also possible. So remember, create your plan so you don't have to deal with those emotions mid bull run. And that's what we constantly talk about. But the second biggest thing here, Mario, is that not only is it the second largest candle in 8 years, we haven't been above $1 for XRP since December of 2021. That is going to be 3 years in just a couple of weeks. So again, it's a completely different time. We can finally start to, take a deep breath, calm down a little bit because we've been in a bear market and we've been dealing with some of the negative sentiment around crypto here for almost 4 years. Now the energy is shifting. I'm getting texts from family members who haven't talked about crypto since 2021. They're asking about their XRP portfolio. We've got friends and family talking about Bitcoin constantly. So again, we're not even at Thanksgiving, guys. XRP is above $1 pre-alt season, pre-bull run. I'm super optimistic. I'm more optimistic about the 2025 bull run than I was about the 2021 bull run for XRP. But Mario, what do you think about all that data there? Just kind of elaborating on the fact that in the last 8 years, I'll say it one more time, since 2018, there's only been one other month where XRP had a bigger green candle. Yes, that's a matter of fact. And that would be April of 2021. So what are your thoughts, Mario? And then I see we got Echo joining us. I'm going to add our friend Echo up here as well.
Yeah, it's huge. And like I said, obviously it's a great indication that XRP is XRP is essentially not wanting to miss this bull run. And obviously, like we spoke about this on Good Morning Crypto. So for anybody that doesn't watch Good Morning Crypto, I'm going to lay it out here, which is last cycle, 2020, 2021, we had an XRP that was delisted on major exchanges. We had an XRP that was being accused by the SEC of being a security. There was a lot of fear surrounding this asset. And so there was really no reason, besides obviously smart investors seeing it as an opportunity. There was really no general sentiment from the public to want to invest in XRP. And what did we see? We saw XRP correct from the bad news, come down all the way to 18 cents. And then we saw XRP go to $1.80, $1.90 on some exchanges. So what does that mean? That's a 10 to 11x. In an environment where there was no positivity around this asset. So this time around, we've got, the best case scenario. This lawsuit is potentially behind us. There's an appeal, but I don't think that that's going to be worth much going into this new narrative. The asset XRP, as far as the classification or the accusation that it was a security, that's been determined last year. So there's no fear around this asset anymore. It's been relisted even just this week. It got relisted back into Robinhood. So it's now available everywhere. And I feel like that we're starting to get a lot of mainstream positive news around it. So if we did a 10 to 11x last time around, then I'm not trying to sell hopium here. So please do your due diligence and don't FOMO in. But last time around with the ultimate fear, we went from, 18 cents to $1.90. This time around, we've got nothing but positive news, and obviously speculation on Trump meeting with Ripple and that potentially being great for XRP, and not to mention everything else that's being developed and that will be coming out for the XRP ledger and with Ripple. But I mean, why can't we at least do the same thing? Why can't we go from the 40 to 60-cent range that we went on for such a long period of time? Why can't we go from those levels to a 10x, right? Which would put us $4 to $6. I think that that's realistic. Obviously, it can go much higher. And I know that a lot of people talk on how XRP can go much higher based on so many different things. But that's just the way that I'm interpreting it. It's a realistic level that I think we could get to, Abs. And so I'm optimistic. I'm happy. Again, celebrate the little small wins and have an exit strategy, right? I mean, we can't emphasize that enough.
Johnny, we can talk about this. And this is what I love about Merlin, guys. Make no mistake about it. People buy crypto assets to make money. And I feel like a lot of people will beat around the bush with that topic, but we can be totally transparent here with Merlin because the entire idea behind our application is that we're going to help our listeners make more money. So if you want to take advantage of a bull run, sign up for Merlin completely free 30 days. Head on over to merlincrypto.com and you can connect your Coinbase, your Ledger, whatever you're using to our application completely free. Test out our software and use it yourself. Now, Johnny, what I'd like to say, though, on a more important note, is that it's fun to talk about price action. And right now, not mid-bull run, but I'd say pre-bull run, entering a bull run, there's so much optimism in the air, and we really get to have some fun when it comes to guessing how high we could go. Witnessing what XRP's done in just a week, and I just did a little bit of math while Mario was speaking, we've added $33 billion since last Saturday. $33 billion in a single week into the project XRP in and of itself. So that's massive. Now I want you to factor in that Bitcoin has also reached a $90,000 price target. And Mario stated it earlier. A lot of the profits that are coming from Bitcoin are moving into projects like Solana, XRP, Doge, so on and so forth. And I know a lot of our community does hold Doge, but this is some positive news for XRP holders as well. Just this morning, we passed Doge once again, taking the 6th largest market cap spot for a digital asset. So all good news, Johnny, but let's hear some speculation. What are your thoughts on what we broke down when it comes to alt season, Bitcoin breaking all-time high, and where we are in the market cycle today?
Well, it's interesting because typically Bitcoin leads the way, and then the alts will typically follow thereafter. But we're kind of seeing a little bit of a mixed bag now. The game is different, and that's what I'll caution everybody is don't think because in the past, everybody's following the typical 4-year bull cycle, and I just believe that this one is going to be different, Abs. And what I mean by that is there's so many different factors. It's not just a bunch of us nerds and geeks anymore investing in this space, But it's really, you've got the big boys here to play now. You've got BlackRock in the game. You've got, the whole Trump administration. They're going to change things. You got regulation coming. Regulation is a game changer. And let me leave you with this because I got to go. But I'll say this. The regulation, when Trump and the administration passes that, the reason why it's going to change it. Like the 4-year bull cycles will probably go away. Again, this is just my 8 cents. I could be wrong, but this is how I'm thinking about it. Is once that happens and the game kind of becomes, no longer this kind of speculation play, but a real world utility play. The regulation unlocks all the institutional money on the sidelines that still can't play in this space because they're fearful of the SEC. Well, once that goes, first of all, that is already going to improve once Trump puts a pro-crypto chairman in place, which we know is going to happen. But then, so you'll start to see some, into Mario's point, you're already seeing some speculation because the market's always forward-looking that they're assuming Gary's going to be gone, right? Gary's probably going to resign on Monday. The past two chairmen have resigned historically on a Monday. So I'm looking for the 18th to be Gary's last day, or resignation, I should say. Or maybe the following week. So look for that. And that's a forward looking, and that'll bring some money into the space. But Abs, the real game changer is going to be when Congress passes regulation. You're going to see. Oh, did I lose you guys?
No, you just moved away from the phone.
Oh, sorry.
We can hear
You're going to see when that regulation comes, Abs, that the institutional money comes in. It's going to be 1997 all over again. Like the money that's going to come in is nothing compared to the money we're seeing now. And that's what's going to drive us to the 10, $15 trillion mark of overall total market cap. And we've talked about this on Good Morning Crypto. That's going to put Bitcoin into 2 to 3, maybe 400,000 range. And then the money that's going to flood into the other alts areas. Now, remember, regulation will probably also squeeze out a lot of the junk and a lot of the crap, which is what you want. And then as that narrows the pool of coins to more realistic utility coins, you can see more money going into those more valuable utility coins that most of us hold. So really exciting times, really excited about it, Abs. I've got to run. I just want to say thank you to all the Warrior Maniacs or Crypto Maniacs who joined today. You guys keep the spaces going. I see we got Echo here. Hopefully he can come up and chat too. But Abs, it's so exciting because I think there's so many positive catalysts coming next year. But regulation is one of the biggest things I'm looking for.
Shout out to you, Johnny. Guys, it is Saturday afternoon, and we're talking about $1 XRP, so it's a good day. Mario, I made the joke I think it was last week when I said life is better with a $1 XRP. Life is good right now, my friends, and I think it is getting better. Echo, I'm excited that we got you here. We got Gonzo listening as well. I'm going to try to add him as a speaker. Echo, I'd love for you to just give your sentiment. How are you feeling? I know you saw the premiere for XRP Unleashed as well, now known as Rigged, SEC's War Against Crypto. I'd love to hear about that. I'm going tomorrow night in Boston, so I'm excited. But can you talk about the premiere a little bit as well?
Yeah, what's up? What's going on, Ab? Shout out to everyone. Thank y'all very much for being here. We're living through some exciting times. The premiere for the documentary, it couldn't have came at a better timing, right? And I always tell people like timing is everything. But if you think about it, ever since this movie Rig, from the start, also or formerly known as XRP Unleashed, started debuting, it was Monday, right? Or this past Monday,
yeah.
Right? XRP's been legitimately just moving since then, right? So I'm like, oh, you know what? Everything is like, everything in this world, runs off of frequency and vibes, right? And I thought it was very coincidental, but then there's nothing in this world is coincidence, right? So the movie itself, in my opinion, if you have not pre-ordered it, or if you're not going to see it, I would suggest to do so because you will see why, okay, the corruption and the truth of the matter of why XRP is so important and why we know what we hold, right? Because you have John Deaton, you have Jimmy Valley, you have all these guys, you have Ab, you have Johnny. All of us are in this documentary, which is actually a crime documentary, right? What people think it's a movie, no, it's a crime documentary, right? And once you figure out just how corrupt the government is and what they were doing behind our backs and who they were colluding with, it makes you angry to the core that like, oh my goodness, I want to hold on to this asset because this is one of the many, there's going to be many assets, but this is one of the main assets that are going to help revolutionize our whole entire, I guess, paradigm, you would say, right? Because if you think of outside of the old paradigm that we were once in, we're transforming into the new paradigm. And I'm not trying to give hopium, but at the same time, it's like, we're going through a shift in reality that we have never gone through. And whenever I covered the U.S. debt clock, they've been telling us this the whole entire time, right? That, change is coming. You just have to keep your frequency high and just think positive about everything. Of course, we still got to grind. We still got to do what we have to do in the world, right, to get by. But for the most part, as long as you just stay locked in, drilled in on the main purpose of what's really taking place and really unfolding right before our very eyes, the wealth and everything is going to come with us, right? It was always the plan, I feel like. And, it's kind of like those conspiracy theories that everybody talks about, about XRP and whatnot, they're going to come into fruition. And, I'm here for it. So I thank y'all very much for everyone that's here. And, congratulations to the whole entire XRP team, XRP army, right? And everybody, because this is just the beginning. And also, remember this too. This is something I was thinking about the other day when I was driving back from Atlanta from the showing. Back in the 2021 bull run, right? Y'all mentioned this earlier that a lot of these crypto, like the XRP and a lot of these other crypto, weren't able to run, especially XRP, because of the lawsuit, right? And you should think about like everything going on with the Ethereum gate, ETH, right? All of those developers, right, that developed on Ethereum, they ended up going over to Ethereum, right, instead of building on the XRP ledger. Because that is what drives value in a network, is the utilization, right? The volume of the trading and, being able to use the network itself. Okay, so if we think about that, and how I think about it is that, okay, well, Ethereum, Solana, and all these other blockchain, they got pumped up because, Ripple was going through this lawsuit. Well, ever since last year of July 13th of 2023, XRP was deemed not a security. All of these developers started building at that time and point. You're about to see everything that has been built on the back end, right? And this includes not just the institutional side, but most importantly, the retail side, because a lot of people forget that it's not just institutions. There is a place on the XRP ledger for the retail. And that is where I've been predominantly staying at right there, right? I don't want to get too much into that because then people would say I'm chilling and stuff like that. But for the most part, if you understand how the liquidity and the money flows, right, then you'll know what the next step in the process is and what's going to happen.
Echo, you know what else is cool? And I'd love to get your thoughts on this. Just one quick follow-up here is that, and I think I said it when you first initially joined the space, is that right now, November of 2024 is the second largest green candle we've seen on the price chart in over 8 years. That's a huge number. And I'm increasingly more optimistic that we're going to see more price action like that. I've also drawn the correlation between November of 2020 and where we are in 2024 today. That is all pre-bull market price action. Last time we went from 20 cents to 70 cents in November, got sued by the SEC, went to 18 cents, and then still did a 10x, taking us to about $1.90. That means even with the law of diminishing returns, which means as the market cap gets bigger, it's harder for these projects to double. Let's say XRP doesn't do a 10x from January to April. Let's say it does a 4 to 6x. Well, if we enter that time frame at $1.25 or higher, that still takes us well beyond our previous all-time high at $4. And who's to say we're stopped there? Once we're in price discovery, that's when things get really exciting. We start talking about Fibonacci's, $12, $19. That's when the conversation gets really, really exciting. But what are your thoughts there that right now we're seeing a really strong correlation between November of 2020 pre-bull market and where we are today here in 2024?
I think it was all, it's not coincidence that that's how it's gonna, or how everything's turning out to be, right? Because I'm not big into, when it comes to XRP, I don't really go off the technical analysis. And I'm not trying to say anything negative about that. It's just that for me, I've always had this figuration that, hey, TA is not going to work whenever XRP is start to turn on, right? Because, when basically you're trying to transfer value as fast as, and bringing it to the network, the technical analysis chart is not, it's not going to play in people's favor. I believe, in my opinion, how everybody thinks it's going to be, right? Because, whether you talk about a flip of a switch moment or whatnot, we could just go past that point of like, Fibonacci retracement levels, right? But I'm not saying that, hey, they don't work all the time, but just, how I see it is like, hey, just be careful on that end because it's one thing that because when we're going through these uncertain times right now, when again switching over to this new world, this new paradigm, this new ledger, right? Interacting on this new financial system. Who's to say what the price is going to be? Like, I don't, there's a new product on the XRP ledger called First Ledger, and they're predominantly used for all of these meme coins, and they put a really good example of why market cap doesn't matter. And they did it on the First Ledger, right? For people that are on First Ledger, they would know, right? Because they put a few examples of why market cap just is irrelevant on the XRP ledger. But I want to just stress that out because at the end of the day, again, I'm not saying hey everybody don't take profits or anything like that, but more so just like we're going through these fairly special times, and the timeline and all this whatnot is happening. It's really really cool to see it all just come into fruition. And again, the documentary couldn't have come at a better time, and I'm here for it, y'all.
I agree. And Gonzo, I'm going to kick it over to you because I think you have limited time here. First of all, what's your reaction from a price chart perspective? Guys, XRP hasn't been back above $1 since November of 2021. It's been a long time coming. So I do think, although optimism seems to be at almost like an all-time high, there's reason to be optimistic. We're breaking through ranges that we talked about here for almost 3.5 years. We started Good Morning Crypto in February of 2022, went through the whole bear market. I remember $15,000 Bitcoin. Here we are today. Bitcoin is $90,000. XRP is well above $1. And more significantly, it's just the beginning of a lot of this positive momentum. Gonzo, what are you seeing from a price chart perspective? Mario brought up a really good narrative, which is that at $1.35, there should be some resistance there. I stated throughout the week, I think $1.25 is where we were going to hit some resistance. Obviously, we did that. That's the 0.618 Fibonacci sequence. And it's also the only place there's any significant trading volume. So what are some of your thoughts, Gonzo? And then we'll go back to Mario.
Hey, what's up? Yeah, it's funny because I was just showing that this morning. I went live in Mighty Networks in the Academy, and you could see like on a fib poll when from the previous all-time high of last cycle, and I just showed people whether you did a local fib poll of our current high to our to our local low or the last cycle, the Fibonacci level was there, right? Like that 92 cent, 93 cent rejection in July rejected right off. I think it was the 236. And then so this next move up, once we blew by one of the fib levels, we were going to get rejected at the 1618, which was the $1.30 level, right? And so it doesn't matter if you look at like fib levels or what Mario was talking about with liquidity levels, where those heat maps show you. You could always tell that the market maker is going to push that price action up and then reject it down, right? Because it's trapping traders. So there's all these different mechanisms for TA, but what we were talking about earlier, this is why I said this on Good Morning Crypto, and I'm not always going to be right, but it's cool when you have a thesis and then you watch the thesis play out, right? Like I said, I don't really care about the lawsuit. I don't pay attention to it. People really didn't like that much. I said that XRP would not move until two things happened. One, Bitcoin went into price discovery, right? And it cleared its level of all-time high. It did that, right? And then I said, and I'm really interested in the documentary. When the documentary comes out and people see all this, whether they believe it or not, it's going to cause them to go to their exchanges and FOMO into XRP. And that's kind of what happened, right? Like the documentary premiere was on Tuesday. We started to get that positive price action. And I think it's just going to continue, right? As we get these premieres, I'll be in LA next week to Coach TV at the LA premiere. So that's going to be really cool. I'm really excited to see you and Johnny in the documentary. And so yeah, dude, the longer that I'm I'm in this space, right? You have all these like ideas and these theses, and then it's just really cool to kind of see them play out, right? But for now, you know, I believe that you should have an exit plan, that you have some type of exit strategy based on your thesis, right? Like if you are here for long term and you're kind of a long term kind of investor and you want to hold on to it and you really don't care about price action, then cool. Then you could just accumulate in bear markets and do your thing. But if you're here to like, try to maximize your gains or make money to try to invest in other things, then you probably want to take some profits off the table. Because as this thing goes up, um, it's going to have that volatility where it's going to push up very explosively, and then it's going to come like not crashing back down, but it's going right back down to test support, right? And that's kind of what we're doing right now. We're pulling back down to that, basically that 93-cent level that we got rejected in July of when we won the lawsuit. So I think tons of positive stuff coming. I think all the older projects, all the older dinosaur tokens have popped off. I think that's because what you're seeing is you're seeing last cycle's retail investors kind of seeing what Bitcoin's doing, going back to their exchanges. They probably were down a ton of money on their positions, and now realizing that now they have money again, or they're up, and they're starting to kind of buy back into the projects that they know.
Thank you, Gonzo. And what I wanted to talk about as well a little bit is just Bitcoin dominance and how that's affecting the rest of the market. I just got a notification on my phone. Oh, it says XRP's up 30%. It's $1.16. I thought it said $1.61, guys. Dyslexia was kicking in there. Undiagnosed, of course. Echo, I see you got your hand up. I'm going to kick it over to you, and then we'll go to Mario.
Yeah, I wanted to say, because like for me, I feel like that, the bull run hasn't even started. And I'm saying that even though like, we're seeing some crazy gains, right? But the reason why I'm saying that is because if you think about the last bull run, right, all of these, like XRP, XLM, and all of them, right, I feel like that they're just making it to the start line. Like we are just making it to where Ethereum, Solana, and every one of these other cryptos that have already popped off during the last bull run, and furthermore, right, we're just getting to the start line. I don't know where this price is going to be at, but I want to let people know that this thing is, in my opinion, we haven't even started because Trump is not even in our office yet. And if you imagine, once Trump gets into office, you have Charles Hoskinson and Cardano from Cardano, working together with Ripple. And we already know Ripple is tied in with the U.S. Treasury, and that new U.S. Treasury dollars coming into place next year, right? I just want to give that 2 cents on that because I think that a lot of people are underestimating where the timeline of like where we're at, because a lot of it, to me, I feel like we're just playing catch up. And once we get to the start line, that's when we actually start the real bull run, right? Like, this whole entire Omega bull run with the US debt clock said it a couple weeks ago, when we are going into a super cycle, right? Which is a super cycle with, is unlike any other cycle we normally go through. So I just wanted to let just put that 2 cents on there, right? But yeah.
Can I add, Abs?
Thank you.
I totally agree with
Of
Echo.
course.
We haven't even started, well, the most parabolic phase, right? Because I think you could argue, depending on what project you've been in, we've been in a bull run since probably January, February of 2023. I think in March of 2023, when Silicon Valley Bank went to zero and the Fed came in and they backstopped all of those deposits, that was the trigger of liquidity entering the market. That was the signal that, hey, this thing is turning around and we're going to go up from here. And I think if you look at some of the projects, and if you got into Bitcoin, you've literally been in a bull run since that time frame, right? But the most parabolic part of the cycle, and if you think about it, like, I think what 80% of the gains are made in the last 20% of the market. So yeah, this thing, we're just extremely, extremely early, but this thing is just getting started. Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high, right? It's like 61%. I said it was going to top at 60. We went to 61. It's been hovering. So every time it kind of just drops a little bit, the altcoins start to move up, right? So Bitcoin's been dragging the altcoins up with it. And then when it corrects and Bitcoin dominance keeps going up, our altcoins bleed. But pretty soon it's going to transition, right? It'll unlock the altcoins. Dominance will start to drop, and then you're going to see bigger swings into the altcoins where the altcoins start to outperform Bitcoin, and then you get that whole liquidity flow cycle. But that's still to come here in 2025.
Thank you, guys. And guess what? I know we got Coach JV joining us, so I'm super excited to hear from JV. And one of the things that we've been discussing is right now here in November of 2024, this is the second largest monthly candle we have had on XRP in 8 years, dating all the way back to 2018. The community is extremely optimistic, and I believe rightfully so. There was also another really important narrative that came out yesterday. Donald Trump met with Brad Garlinghouse this summer, and he basically confirmed this via Fox Business. He wasn't willing to discuss the details of the meeting, but he did basically confirm that Donald Trump met with the Ripple team. I can only imagine what they discussed. I would assume some stablecoin conversations, but more importantly, I think digital asset regulation was probably the hot topic. I want to say thank you, JV, for jumping in. Happy Saturday, and how have you been reacting to all
Oh
this?
man, stoic. We've been planning this. So first of all, congratulations to every single one of you. Absolutely love you guys and adore every one of you guys. So grateful that we've been to battle through all this. And so I'm just going to use a lot of logic, and I'll take you back to 7 years, and I'll take you through some logical timelines. I just use logic with everything. I'm not emotional about these markets. I'm excited. I have my exit plan through Merlin. When I hit my targets, I exit. When it collapses, I buy, and then I get back to being present with my family and God and Christ. So if you go back to 7 years ago, and is it by chance that Brad Garlinghouse announced yesterday that he's having conversations with Trump? Remember, 7 years ago, Trump said we're going to be on an even playing field sooner than we know it. And he was talking about de-dollarization. Japan was in the room, China was in the room. He said we're going to be on an even monetary system. Trump leaves, Biden comes in, they throw us into heavy inflation. Now remember, what did Rosie Rios say? You need to reduce coin and cash usage. You need a shock to the system. Boom, they shocked the system in 2020. All of a sudden, you got Bitcoin as being, Bitcoin's money laundering. It's used for fentanyl use. Even Larry Fink was saying it's used for money laundering. It's a pet rock. All these different things, right? And then in 2020, December 20th, 2020, Ripple launches or SEC launches the case against Ripple. And I remember sitting in my hotel room. I was quarantined because we have a facility, our Warrior Academy. The gym was shut down. And I did this video. Everybody started texting me, why did you talk about XRP? And I remember, standing up and walking around the hotel room. I was quarantined. I'm like, I'm holding on like a fucking tick on a dog. I ain't going nowhere, dude. I'm an oak tree. There's something wrong with this. Like something doesn't seem right. A couple days later, Jay Clayton leaves to consult for a cryptocurrency firm, One River Capital, increase their position in Bitcoin. I have a video during that time that I explained that. The 2 months earlier, they increased their position in Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like something's going on. Then we had the Bill Hinman speech. All of you need to see the XRP Unleashed documentary, now renamed Rigged. You're gonna see and you're going to start to connect the dots. So what happened yesterday with Brad Garlinghouse announced that this is slowly and methodically planned out. So December 20th, 2020, they launched a case against Ripple. They suppressed Ripple for 4 years, and then all of a sudden in 2023, Larry Fink flips. Boom. But this is interesting. Remember what I'm about to say. Billionaires use astrology. Millionaires use charts. I'll say it one more time. Billionaires use astrology. Millionaires use charts. JP Morgan said that. I didn't say that. So all of a sudden, Larry Fink in 2023 is like, we're going all in on Bitcoin. I changed my tune. It's a flight to quality. They launched a Bitcoin ETF, launches in 2024, but they were already getting access to Bitcoin through MicroStrategies, or one of the largest holders of MicroStrategies, which was increasing their position dramatically, right? And so now they're getting the back end. Warren Buffett's going through Nubank to get his access to Bitcoin when he tells you it's a fraud. And Warren Buffett's heavy in cash now. He moved heavy into cash because he knows the stock market collapses companies. Something's coming in 2025 to 2026. Well, think about this. Billionaires astrology, millionaires your charts. Larry Fink knew that we're going into some sort of inflationary environment in 2025. I know Echo's on here. We talk a lot about the deflation of the US dollar. He talks about the debt clock. Since 1913, our purchasing power has gone down to 3%. So all of you right now are positioned historically in a transition in the financial system. So every time I see news like that, I just take a deep breath. I go back and I look at the logic. I'm like, man, this is all planned out. This is all planned out. Ethereum was created or was brought in once they found the technology for the financial system. I guarantee you it's deep in the financial system. Bitcoin was created as a store of value, which is going to be pulled underneath the treasury to fix the sovereign debt crisis. XRP and Ripple was one of the most disruptive companies that came on board to improve the liquidity crisis of the Nostro Vostro accounts, the SWIFT system, old archaic banking system. And so all we're seeing is a transition of money. And can you believe that all of us are investing in that rail? That some of you are going to wake up in 2030, not only are you going to be some of the richest families in the world, but you're going to have so many resources that you can reach back and help other people. And so when I see these markets going up, I'm just, have a little smile in my heart right now, but I'm staying super stoic. I'm staying super calm. I'm using Merlin. As it hits my targets, I pull. Hits a target, I pull. Secure, compound, grow. I'm waiting for the bear market 2026, 2027, 2028, because that's where we get really, really wealthy. So It's an absolutely beautiful time. I'm just super, I'm getting emotional saying this, man, but I'm super grateful to all of you guys because I mean we've been to war together, guys. This is something that you have to really think about. Do you realize you're going to be sitting there with your grandkids in like 10 to 15 years, maybe 20 years, maybe 30 years for some of you, and you're a fucking legend, man. You're an absolute legend. People tried to fudge you in or they tried to fudge you out of this. They told you were crazy. Your families at Thanksgiving told you, you know, this you're getting into a money laundering scheme, a Ponzi scheme, but you stayed stoic and you stayed focused. So congratulations to all of you guys. So for me, I'm really diving deep, and this is going to go into personal. I'm really diving deep into my spiritual walk, my health, fitness, mindset. I got it all dialed in right now because I knew this time was coming. And I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't have it all. I didn't have my shit fully together in 2020 to 2022. And I looked at those things that I needed to dial in for this massive abundance coming in. And I believe that because that's dialed in, now the foundation is here. Now we're here for generational wealth. So I'm super excited. Congratulations. And, you know, thank you. I see a lot of great influencers on here, creators, and thank you guys for all being in the community and supporting each other. I think that's one of the greatest things. It's neat to see Bitcoin maxis too getting involved. I mean, that's really cool, man. I think that's really, really cool. You know, I never throw shade or hate on anybody. I think it's cool to see these Bitcoin maxis coming on board and them saying, hey, the XRP community is this an absolutely amazing community. That's what it's all about, man. It's about love, unconditional love, gratitude, and authenticity. I'll leave you with one more thing because you know I got to always leave a spiritual God, Jesus Christ, as my savior. He told us that this time was coming. A man with the picture, right? If you look at my tweets today, I put the actual quote on there so you can look at biblically. A man with the picture is coming. He said, go up into the right, go up into the room, and I have a meal prepared for you. This is your time, man. This is your guys' time. You stayed focused, you stayed dedicated, you took the middle ground, and this is your time. So congratulations, generational wealth for all of you guys. But remember, you got to believe in your heart. You got to believe this shit in your heart. You can't have your foot and get foot on the gas and brake at the same time. You can't say, "Oh, I'm going to get rich in crypto, but I can't pay my bills. I'm going to be generational shifter, but I always go broke." You have to be locked in on wealth mindset. You have to feel it, you have to embody it, you have to feel it at the deepest core level. And don't chase the markets. Let the markets come to you. So that's what I got.
JV, you put out a phenomenal message this morning, and I guess I'll just read it as you thank you for that as well, all that context. You said the XRP, the community in and of itself, it's given people a community, it's given people purpose, it's given people hope financially, and it's driven people to become more financially educated. I think that message speaks really well to myself because what these investments do, although it's an exciting opportunity to not only talk to like-minded people, and it gives you a chance to make a little bit of passive income during a bull run, but I think it provides a sense of hope that if you're in a salaried job, you can sit there and do the math and figure out exactly where you're going to be in 10 years. But when you're in an asset like an XRP or an Avalanche or a Chainlink or a meme coin or Bitcoin, you have this overwhelming sense of opportunity. And that's what we're capitalizing on here. If you're interested in capitalizing during this bull run on all the profits that we've been discussing, sign up for Merlin 30 days completely free today, whether you use Coinbase, Uphold, a Ledger device. Our software, it plugs in, allows you to create an exit plan. And I think most importantly, it lets you create a financial goal for this current bull run, removes a lot of the stress and the anxiety that he had talked about in 2021. When you don't have a plan and money comes in, it can be a very emotional experience for people. And the way you can remove a lot of that uncertainty is by simply creating a plan beforehand. So with that being said, guys, I want to say special thank you to JV, special thank you to Echo. I'm going to keep this thing rocking and rolling. But remember, 30 days completely free, merlincrypto.com. And I've pinned the link in the spaces. Can't get more simple than that. Mario, I saw you had your hand up as well. We're going to go to Echo really quick, and then we're going to kick it to Mario. So, Echo, floor is yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Hey, JV, coach, thank you very much. I love you, brother. Thank you very much for everything you do. You know, if it wasn't for you, I told you several times before, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So much respect for everything you're doing. And, you know, the documentary, of course, we're solidified in history, right? And
Yeah.
this is just the ticking stone of all of it. You know, but I wanted to, you know, just give a final word because, you know, because I do have to get off because I do have a Friendsgiving to go to. But, you know, just let everybody know that, you know, what we're witnessing and what we're going through right now, again, it's just the beginning of everything, right? Make sure you do make sure you do have an extra strategy for real, because at the end of all of this, like, this is going to be a major shift in wealth transfer. And you want to make sure you get you want to make sure you get everything set up properly, right? And it's going to take a little bit of time, but over time you'll start to understand like how these markets, how they circulate and how they work. But overall, we're going through some very unique times, and just remember just to know what you hold. Okay. But with that being said, thank you very much, Ab. Thank you very much, Mario. JV, of course. I love you, brother. Gonzo,
Love,
thank you all very much.
love you, brother.
Love you too, bro.
Thank you, Echo. We appreciate you. JV, I'd love to give you a chance if you wanted to say a word, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say I love you, Echo, as well, and thank you for all of your love and support, and that's all I was gonna say is just love you guys, and I know there's just a lot of love, but just to reiterate that, guys, I mean, when we say this, like Raul Paul, I really like Raul Paul. I know people go back and forth on him. I like his stuff. This is like we have 6 years, and he's like, don't fuck this up. He's like, don't fuck this up, and it is very true, and I think the biggest thing about this, what I'd like to really dial home with people, it's not just about the money, guys. It's about getting the heart in alignment, the soul in alignment, the mind in alignment, the health, the fitness in alignment. Because if you have all the money in the world but you don't have health, you don't have wealth. So and it always has to exist internally before it ever will exist externally. I mean, I've been, if guys know my story, I was broke on my parents' couch, manifesting the reality that I live right now. I'm living the reality that I was literally manifesting and feeling in vibration. Now we're going to build $1 billion ecosystem. People think I'm absolutely crazy. I said on recorded videos all the time, we're building $1 billion ecosystem. I already live in that frequency, right? Let it come to you by connecting to the field and frequency, right? So the reticular activating system is an extremely powerful God created a GPS within your mind. It's a sophisticated filter. It's only going to give you what you feed it. So feed it goodness. Remember, the great I am powerful, I am strong, I am worthy, I am abundant. So I'll get off my soapbox. Love you guys.
Love you, JV. And another thing, just to build off what you said, I feel like specifically in crypto, we go through these phases where you put in the work and you learn and you improve yourself and you don't see immediate returns. But then you come to this moment in time where it all happens exponentially at once. And so it's so great that we've been doing what we have over these past 3 years because we've been able to build this very strong community of like-minded individuals. Here's the best part about crypto, if I can say it myself. When the price chart goes up, it goes up in everyone's portfolio. So we can win together as a community. And I think today is a great example of that. XRP being back above $1 for the first time since 2021, the community is celebrating together. Thousands and thousands of people are coming, sharing their stories, spreading positive messages. And I think that's exactly what JV is doing as well. We love you, JV. I got to say it myself. I love you. I appreciate you. I wouldn't be where I am without you. So I got to say that first and foremost. But I guess today, you're the reason I have XRP. So I can thank you specifically for that as well. So it's a double celebration this morning, guys. I love you, JV. And I do want to say that publicly, of course. Gonzo, floor is yours, my friend. Then we're going to go to Mario as well.
Yeah, thanks, Abs. Like while we have JV here, yeah, dude, I'm like at a loss for words to be able just to explain how grateful I am. When JV brought me onto the team and just everything that I've experienced, like the crypto thing, it is what it is, right? Like we're gonna make money, there are investments, stuff like that. But the bigger thing is the family. Like you guys are my brothers. Like when something happens at work or in my life, the first people that I want to reach out to you are you guys, right? And so that says a lot. So yeah, we're gonna make a lot of money, but like JV spot on, like the family and the community that we've built has been has meant more to me than the gains. Yeah, the gains is gonna end up changing my life, but the relationships and the businesses that we've built together, that's really been the game changer for me. So yes, I love you, JV. I appreciate everything that you've done for me and my family. And so yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Love you.
I agree with you, Gonzo. Sorry.
I
Floor
was
is
just saying,
yours.
love you so much.
I was going to say, I think we're all going to find common ground here on the love we have for JV, guys. So shout out to JV. And again, for a lot of people who don't know our full story, we started this thing all the way back in 2021. Yesterday, I was going through some old photos, and there's a picture of me, Johnny, and Mario in Arizona at Jeremy's facility. So JV, you'll know this. And we were sitting there in the ice bath. I have a buzz cut and no beard. So it goes to show how far we've come in these past couple of years. Not only has the price chart grown, so has the hair on my face. So I want to thank God for that, guys. Now, Mario, I want to kick it over to you, and then we'll continue with some more serious topics, I guess.
Thanks, Abs. Since we are in this topic, of course, I've got a lot of things that I want to say. In late 2020, that's when I got back into crypto. I got in 2017, but then 2018, January 2018, we had a massive correction, which sent us into a bear market. And, having just got into crypto, I was like, what is this stuff? And, not really doing my due diligence as far as research, I decided to step away. It wasn't until finding this bearded guy on TikTok talking about spirituality, self improvement, and obviously crypto. That's when I, decided to join the academy. And I was already an XRP investor from back in 2017. And obviously, hearing Coach JV talk about XRP and the way that he did, it really set a perspective for me. There was just something about XRP that really clicked for me back then. And then, obviously, hearing JV's perspective from being an ex banker, that really. Settled that idea in my mind. And then coming across this community was just the most amazing thing that could have happened. Obviously, me, I was it's transformational, guys, honestly. Just I know that we all want to get rich, but there's no point of wanting to get rich if you're not healthy, if you're not a person of love, and if you're not in good relationship with yourself and around. So that to me comes first. Obviously, we talk about crypto time, and that's I say it all the time. It's the cherry on top of the cake. It's that bonus from being a part of this community, and the rest is history. And we started doing Good Morning Crypto, and here we are doing spaces and going live. And the last 4 years have been insane as far as XRP because when we got the news that XRP was being or that Ripple was getting into a lawsuit from with the SEC. I mean, that was nuts. It really created a lot of fear within the space. And I just remember the first thing I do remember JV's video talking about how he was holding on like a tick on a dog, and that really solidified my opinion as well. And I was like, you know what? I grabbed everything I had on my savings account. I transferred it into Kraken right before Kraken delisted XRP in January of 2021, and I bought as much as XRP as I could. And I've been holding on. It's been a long time, but obviously, we're having invested at that time frame. We're very already profitable at this point, but I think that we're just getting started. And this crypto market, the crypto scene is changing. The crypto environment is changing, and that's obviously super exciting because it's something we anticipated and believed in for a very. But just that super grateful to be a part of this community, getting messages from people and comments saying that they're grateful for everything that we do on Good Morning Crypto, and that they came across XRP because of us, or that they invested in crypto because of us. And so it's just very gratifying to hear comments like that. And obviously, we've come a long way. We've got still a long way to go, but remember, it's about the journey, not so much the destination.
And JV, I think what's so important here is that people often will underestimate bear markets and they'll underestimate bull markets. And today's a great example of that. We started off the week at just 70 cents in value for the token XRP. And here we are today reaching $1.25. I believe we're currently trading at $1.20. That is why we're constantly talking about an exit plan, guys, because although it's fun to predict and play these games, these philosophical games about price targets in the future, the reality is that nobody has a crystal ball. And the best thing you can do is plan ahead to remove a lot of the emotional stress during these volatile times. That's why we talk about Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. Check it out, 30 days completely free. You use Coinbase, Uphold, Kraken, crypto.com. If you use a ledger device, we connect right into your exchange, allow you to create an exit plan, track all of your crypto in one location, and also you're going to get some tax estimates while you're there. So a lot of exciting stuff when it comes to XRP, but for the broader market overall, alt season doesn't begin until 2025. What I've seen right now is a really strong correlation between the 2020 bull market and what we're going through today. We're seeing it on the XRP price chart. In November of 2020, we went from 25 cents to 70 cents in value. Here we entered the month at about 58 cents. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we closed it out above $1.25 because we did reach that level today. If we look at many of these other altcoins, they're yet to move. And that tells me that the opportunity is still in front of us. Gonzo, I know you're a TA guy, and I'd love to get some of your thoughts here. When we constantly talk about alt season occurring in the spring of 2025, that's because that's what we saw here in 2021. So everything prior to those dates is essentially setting us up for alt season. If XRP enters that territory at $1.25, hypothetically, and we do a law of diminishing returns, instead of doing a 10x, we do a 6x this bull run. Well, that still takes us to about $7.50 XRP. And that's almost exactly the market cap that Ethereum is today, if you want to draw another correlation there. So I think there's tons of optimism, tons of reason to be excited, and more importantly, tons of reason to create a plan for the bull run now so you don't do it in January, February, and March. But with that being said, Gonzo, floor is yours.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. Like, I think what you're seeing right now is you're seeing a lot of like, whether it's XRP, XLM, H bar, they're just kind of catching up to Solana. They're catching up to kind of the early movers. And so I think that's a pretty decent way to look at it. Like, if you're not going to just break down charts and look at TA, right? Because you gotta have some type of plan. But I thought of something when you were talking. You know, you could use Merlin for so many different things besides like just the exit strategy, right? I mean, that's awesome, right? That's the key thing right there. So it can alert you. But you could also like, because some people don't like to look at charts, they don't understand candle structure, stuff like that. But another way that you can use that I used Merlin as I was like kind of messing around with it is with your portfolio when it tells you how much percentage wise is your portfolio. So for example, if like you know that you have a position size that's like 1%, a few percent of your total portfolio, and you start to see that expand and it starts to take bigger chunks of your portfolio, like all of a sudden you wake up one morning and it's 20, 30, 40% of your portfolio. That is an indicator to tell you that you probably want to take some profits off your table, right? That's something that happened last cycle. There were a lot of people that made a ton of money in Terra Luna, right? And it literally ended up, quadrupling their portfolios where, the Terra Luna was like 98% of their total portfolio and everything else was 2%. And then when it went to zero, they lost everything, right? And so even if you don't want to like plug in exact numbers, but you want some type of kind of guidance, you could just do simple percentages. And then when you see that one crypto, whether it's XRP or whatever it is, right? Obviously, you're going to have the ones that maybe you want to keep into the future. That's up to you. But like if you're in one that's like maybe for this cycle and investment, once that gets really big, that should be an indicator to you, hey, you know what? I should take some profits off the table. And then you just shrink it back down, right? And so if you want it to be now 5 or 10% of your portfolio, then you shrink it down so it matches. And then you just move on. And every time it expands or another project expands and takes up a bigger chunk of your portfolio, you take profit on that one, right? So just another like simple way
Right.
that you could use Merlin without actually putting the information on the exit strategies. I think that's the best way, but I'm just trying to like throw that out there. But as far as alt season, yeah, like Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high, right? So the last cycle, Bitcoin dominance, I showed this in the academy, it topped out when the Fed went to quantitative easing, right? They are still, even though we started dropping interest rates, they are still in a quantitative tightening cycle, right? That means that they're selling off their balance sheet. And so I was paying attention to that when we got the last Fed cut to see if they were going to go into QE, and they didn't. So we have to now wait for the December meeting. So I could see if they end up going to QE in December, I could see dominance finally maybe topping, and then we start to get the drop going into January. But if they do not go into a QE situation, right? And they stay in QT, then it could be something where Bitcoin dominance still stays high into the end of the year, right? And then that would like just push alt season a little bit further, right? Because true alt season really, when you think about the liquidity flow, it's a very short time period, right? It's everything goes into Bitcoin. People pull profits on Bitcoin. It goes into Ethereum. Then it goes into your large cap projects like XRP, and then it filters down. And then, like, really, alt season is when it goes into these small market cap projects that absolutely blow up, right? Where they start off as like a Solana. Solana started off at a 60 million market cap and it blew up to what, 80 billion or something like that. That's where you see these like 100x's, 1000x's, stuff like that. Again, um, I would not like, you should have like not financial advice, but the way that I do it, and I suggest like my family members do it, is you have your core portfolio, that is your core projects that you've researched that you want to go heavy into, right? That should take up about 80, 90% of your portfolio. And then with the other 10 to 20%, if you want to get into trading, then use that, right? You should never tap into your core portfolio. You use that money and that part of the portfolio to trade. Or if you want to get into more speculative things further down the risk curve, right? That's the money that you use. That way you don't blow up your whole thing. Because I think what happens a lot of times is people just assume because we're in a bull run that you're just going to make money and it's all good. you can get just as easily, I think you can get wrecked more in a bull run than you can in a bear market, because you're chasing price action and you're hopping from one project to another project to another project. And what you end up doing is chasing green candles, and you just end up like losing money every time you move from one to another. If you did your research and you understand what you own, then you just have to sit tight, right? Like anyone that had a very ISO token heavy portfolio, it's been tough, right? Like you've seen all these other projects take off, like Solana ecosystem, and it's been a patience game. But now look what's happened in these last few weeks. Everything has woken up and started to run, actually counter to the market. So it's really just a waiting game and being patient with your core portfolio. If you want to degen into other stuff, that's cool, but just make sure it's a certain piece of your portfolio that's very small. That way, if you blow it up, you don't miss out on everything else that's about to happen.
That's a great point, Gonzo. And think about what you mentioned earlier is that I think you said 80% of the gains come in the last 20% of the cycle. That's my memory as well, having gone through this in 2021, is that the majority of these altcoins gains, they came extremely late. I remember Gala went from, I believe it was like 10 cents to 70 cents, and it happened in November of 2021. So it was almost like post bull run. Bitcoin was creating that final double top all-time high, and projects like Gala were peaking in value. We could see something very similar with projects like Sui, Chainlink, Avalanche. Some of these projects that are slightly outside of the top 10, they may take a little bit longer in the cycle, but we will see that price accumulation over time. So I would anticipate getting your exit plans ready now so that when it's $20 Chainlink and 50 and 80 and 100, you're not emotionally connected to some of these price targets. One other thing before I kick it back to Mario, because JV had mentioned this earlier, is that he's remained very stoic throughout this process. And a little bit of advice that I could give our listeners here is that if you haven't locked in your profit, do not emotionally celebrate the gain, right? So if XRP gets to $1 like we are today, and your portfolio is doubled in value, but you haven't locked in a penny on exchanges, I wouldn't emotionally be celebrating that win because you haven't won yet. You haven't locked in the profit. The game here is to lock in US dollar value and compound that growth over time. We're going to take advantage of a bear market when it inevitably comes here in 2026. And the best way to do that is having locked in profit during the bull run so you can get back into some of your favorite projects like a Bitcoin or an XRP. So that's what we're focusing on every day. Don't celebrate just yet. It's a super positive day. Feel free to be happy, be in a good mood. It's always good to be in a good mood, but do not celebrate the win, guys. The game has not ended until you've taken some profit. But with that being said, Mario, floor is yours, and then we'll continue with whoever else has comments.
Yes, and I just realized that yesterday we had this maybe the day before yesterday we had this conversation on Good Morning Crypto, and a lot of people were saying that I should be celebrating when I said that this is not really a time. Well, not that it's not a time for celebration. I think it's a time for celebration in the aspect of we are seeing XRP do what we anticipated it was going to do, right? But we obviously need to celebrate the small. But for a lot of people, this is just a beginning. If we anticipate, and I spoke about some of the expectations that I have as far as XRP price action, if we anticipate XRP getting to the $4 to $6 range, we're still quite a ways to go. But obviously, this is a great indication that again, XRP is not looking to miss out on this crypto bull run. So I feel like a lot of people. Especially over the last week, there's been a lot of attention driven back into the crypto market. We've certainly felt it here at Merlin. I can tell you that, being the head of customer support here at Merlin, we went from 0 to 1,000 very quickly, literally overnight. And, kudos to everyone in my team that picked up everything that was being thrown at us. And I can tell you the next 3 weeks, I am completely booked every single day for Merlin demos alone. So people who want to see how Merlin works, the next 3 weeks, every single day, I'm completely booked. So if you want to see a demo of Merlin, we actually introduced an easier way for you to do it. When you go onto our website and click request a demo, I actually have a pre-recorded demo that you can watch it. It's only 20 minutes and you can see the full functionality of Merlin and therefore not have to wait the 3 weeks. But obviously, if you do want to get that custom demo, you would have to wait about 3 weeks to get one. But nonetheless, the first 30 days are free. So, you sign up and you can start to get connected and start to figure out things out, everything out. You don't have to worry about paying for Merlin until 30 days later. And just recently, we added another reason why you wouldn't want to leave Merlin or why you would want to sign up for Merlin, which is we give you the ability to see crypto news inside of the app. So we have a section where you can see all type of news. You can see news tailored to your crypto portfolio, meaning that if you have Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP, you only see Bitcoin, Solana, and XRP related news. And any asset that you click on, you have you have a set of news that is specific for that asset too. So if you're going to look at Dogecoin, you're going to get news that are related to Dogecoin. So, I mean, we're super excited here at Merlin because obviously one of the things that we do is the exit strategy, and being in the bull run is the it's essential to have an exit strategy. But Gonzo said something very important. Merlin does so much. You guys have no idea how many people we've had reach out about getting notifications of transactions happening on their accounts and them having no idea about it and really only just finding out because of the alerts they were receiving from Merlin. And then they would go and check and notice that, their wallet, there was some suspicious activity. Airdrops, we've had people reach out about airdrops, and some of them, yes, I know a lot of them unfortunately are not legit, but there's been airdrops that literally were thousands of dollars in value, and people only found out because of the notifications that Merlin does. I mean, it's a portfolio aggregator, it's an exit strategy tool, but I mean, it's just so much more. And obviously, we're going to continue to improve it. And our goal is to make it the only app you need in crypto. And obviously, it's the smartest way to track your crypto.
Well, Johnny Crypto, great time for you to enter the chat, my friend. We're talking about optimism. We're talking about the excitement in the air. But more importantly, we're talking about having a stoic mindset. Do not celebrate the win until you lock in your profit. And that's where Merlin comes into effect. I've always stated the easiest way to get the process going when you're creating an exit plan is figuring out how much money you'd like to make. If your goal is to make $10,000 and you have a $5,000 portfolio, well, then you only need to 2x your portfolio to meet that financial goal. But if you're playing with $10,000 and you have the goal of making 100,000, you've got to figure out a way to make a 10x on your crypto portfolio. I believe it's possible, but it's going to take some serious thought and it's going to take some serious planning. That's where Merlin can really help out a lot of the people who are here today. And before I kick it over to you, I'm going to remind people of one thing. 30 days completely free. Test out the technology, allow it to benefit your portfolio, and then I believe the product is so good, people will stay. So that's just my thought, Johnny. Floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Abs, I'm doing great. I'm back. I noticed Coach in the room, and I just want to first give a huge shout out to him because, to be honest with you, Abs, if it wasn't for Coach, none of this would exist. Coach, Merlin wouldn't exist. I don't know if we'd all be friends, right? We were all brought together by Coach. So I just want to say, Coach, love you, brother. Shout out to you. Thank God for your conviction, because I'll never forget. And I don't know how many people remember this, Abs, but in December of 2020, the SEC throws a lawsuit out, tears down Ripple and XRP, and I had found Coach through TikTok talking about XRP, right? And I remember when it happened, everybody was panicked, everybody was selling, and it was like, holy cow, what's going on here? And I reached out to Coach, and everybody was blowing up his phone, and I'm like, it'll be interesting to see what he does. I didn't know Coach at the time, and and Coach says, hey man, I'm holding on like a tick on a dog, and that conviction just sold me, and I was a believer from that day forward. And I'm like, you know what? That's right. That's how they do it. They try to shake everybody out. The elites shake everybody out. And then when you're out, they buy it all up for pennies on the dollar. And that's what happened, right? XRP dropped from 70 cents to 17 cents. And it was probably the biggest buying opportunity ever. And if it wasn't for Coach's conviction, I don't know if I would have bought. So I just want to say shout out to you, Coach. I love you, brother. Thank you for believing, in XRP and your conviction. And we're all together. The whole community then kind of formed. We all met at the academy. Mario, Gonzo, Jeremy, all of us. I normally leave people out, and you guys have all been my best friends ever since. And it's just been a great, wonderful ride. And here's the best part, guys. It's just getting started. And we built this wonderful tool to help you guys and to help ourselves too. And it's so awesome to see the alerts going off and knowing when to sell, so that you can take the emotion out of the game, because the game is rigged against us all. It's against our emotions, and we're going to lose. We're going to lose if we let our emotions, allow us to play this game. But when you use a tool like Merlin, which says, okay, time to sell. Like, dude, I got my alert this morning. I went in, put the sell order in, and I always struggle to hit the button because you're always worried about leaving too much money on the table. And I said, you know what? Coach said, when you make a plan, stick to the plan. And that's what I did. I pressed the button, sold it, and I just locked in 136% profit. So you can't really go any, how do you do better than that? You just got to be grateful for what you have. So, again, I just want to say thank you. I love you, brother. And it's going to be a wonderful ride. Put your seatbelt on, guys.
Love you too. Love you.
Johnny Crypto, another thing that I think is exciting, I don't know if you have a chance to comment, so anybody in the group can comment on this, is that when crypto goes up, everyone's portfolio rises together. I actually love the idea of that, and I feel like not enough crypto channels focus on this. When crypto is winning, there's thousands of people who are making money every single day, and here's why I believe the United States is going to become extremely pro-crypto. If the consensus is that this market's going to go to $10 trillion, let's say, and everybody seems to agree with that globally, at some point we're going to reach 10 trillion. Well, why not put that money in the hands of American investors? If we adopt this technology and let's say a bunch of people go out and buy XRP and XRP increases in price, well, that's putting money directly in the pockets of Americans. The second that they realize that, I think we're going to see a dramatic shift in the crypto space. We're going to see two big narratives, right? Bitcoin, new all-time high, that's going to be number one. But number two is that this is a global market. And if America doesn't get on board, the only people who are going to get hurt are people like me, Johnny Crypto, Mario, so on and so forth. So I think the tides are turning. Another really important narrative here, Johnny, Gary Gensler is yet to resign. So I'm waiting to see what happens based on that news. Let's say we get a letter of resignation on Monday, the 18th. When Gary Gensler resigns, they're going to use that as a symbolic line in the sand that we went from anti-crypto to pro-crypto with the stroke of a pen. So floor is yours, Johnny, and then we'll continue.
Abs, historically, the prior two SEC chairs have retired on a Monday between the 14th and the 16th of November. We are now going to be coming on November 18th on a Monday. All signs point to anti-crypto Gary Gensler resigning on Monday. So I'm calling it the Gary Suicide Job Watch. We'll see if he pulls the trigger and puts in his resignation letter. God knows everybody in the world wants him to. And I'm hearing that it's either going to be this Monday or the Monday after Thanksgiving. So I think Gary's days are numbered. 2 days, 1 or 2 weeks left, and Gary will finally be gone. And I think a lot of the speculation and pumping that we're seeing is part and due to that, as Mario said earlier. I think we are seeing that we are the beneficiaries of the fact that the markets, don't forget, the markets lean forward. They always look ahead. And right now, I think they're looking ahead to two things. One, Trump putting in a pro-crypto, taking a pro-crypto stance, and also putting in a pro-crypto chair. The markets, I think, are baking that in. So what will probably happen is when he announces the pro-crypto chair, we'll see the price drop. It's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news, right? And so I think we're seeing some of that happening right now. But nonetheless, Abs, it's going to be, 2025 is going to be such a great year for crypto, for blockchain technology, for innovation, for jobs for America. I just think we're going to see, and then hopefully regulation, which is going to drive it all. But to me, I'm so excited about the future. And I'm glad we built this tool. Everybody gets 30 days to try it out for free. Go to merlincrypto.com. But more importantly, come and check us out on the Good Morning Crypto Show every day, 11 a.m. We always try to share insights of what we believe is going on in the market so you guys can learn and kind of, learn from us or you share ideas. We have a wonderful chat room. It's awesome. And then you can also check out the 3T Academy. Make sure you come and sign up for. There's so many tools and things we put out to help people. And of course, soon we've got the Freedom Conference coming on. So very, very exciting times, Abs. I hope that kind of answers your question of what what the future looks like. And hopefully, we'll see some good news next week about Gary going bye-bye.
I'm optimistic, Johnny Crypto. I really am. Guys, we got a lot of people in this space. I'm currently driving my car to the gym. Now, what's unfortunate about that is my gym closes at 4 p.m. So what I'll do is I'll continue to moderate as long as there are other people who are excited to talk about these topics. Mario, one of the things that I've been paying attention to and I'm really, really excited about is the idea of the community growing. And we're starting to see that this week with Merlin, with Good Morning Crypto, with the Academy. I think the second that excitement gets back in the air, there is a spotlight on the crypto community right now. And I can actually speak to this firsthand. My brother's birthday was this Wednesday. All the cousins got together. And you know what everybody was talking about? Hey, how about that XRP, huh? So finally, the crypto contrarians have joined our side. Not just Larry Fink,
but also my grandma. So shout out to grandma. I love you very much. Mario, go
Yeah,
ahead, Johnny.
I hate to cut you off. I gotta run again, but I just want to say it's going to be a very, very interesting and happy Thanksgiving. Oh boy, there's gonna be a lot of good turkey talk about crypto. So everybody enjoy your Thanksgivings. It's gonna be a great one, Coach, and everybody. I love you guys. Please keep it going as long as you can. And anybody wants to come up and speak too. But again, I just wanted to say thank you. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Mario, I want to kick it over to you for some comments. Also, Gonzo and JV, whoever would like to speak. But the reality is, we've talked about it for a long time. The day is finally here. We're not celebrating, right? We're not celebrating yet. Unless you're locking in profits, it's not a day to celebrate. But what it is a day to do is pat yourself on the back. Good energy is in the air. We're just building off that good energy today. So with that being said, Mario, floor is yours, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the energy is amazing, and we're certainly feeling it in the crypto market. Like I said before, we went from zero here over at but we really saw we really saw social media do the same, especially X. I saw X just become so optimistic literally overnight. And obviously Bitcoin led the way with its price move and entering price discovery. I thought for a second we were really going to get to 100,000, pretty quickly. And I still think that we're going to get 100,000 still this year. But the good news is that what we're seeing now is we're seeing that rotation of capital go from Bitcoin into alts, and we haven't seen a correction from Bitcoin, so that's obviously good for the altcoins, and that's what we're seeing over the last 48 72 hours. We're seeing just altcoins, like some altcoins that have really been stagnant. I saw Quant had a pretty good move this morning. Algorand, HBAR has been doing well, but there was some pretty positive news as far as an ETF, application for HBAR. But just a lot of these solid projects that we've talked about, like all bear market long, they've been just XDC is another one that just popped into my mind. Their price action has been terrible compared to the rest of the market. But over the last few hours, 72 hours, we've seen them start to move. A gaming project we talk about all the time, and I know that Jeremy was just mentioning, which is Gala. Gala really got wrecked over the bear market. I mean, it's been sitting at 2 cents for a long time, but it looks like it's starting to break out as well. I just think that there's a lot of fundamental strength, but behind these projects, and obviously what we were seeing was emotions of the market, and Gonzo talks about this all the time: emotions and tension. And the attention early this year was going towards all of the narratives that we know were trending, right? The deep end, the meme coins. We're still, it's still meme coins. Here we are, another cycle, and we're still meme coins. But I think that what we're seeing now is and especially because of the announcements coming from the Trump administration, or from Trump saying how no capital gains on U.S. currencies. I think that's really shining a light on a lot of these projects that we know have so much such a strong fundamental. Um, I guess, objective with what they're trying to accomplish. So, it's exciting because that's what I like to invest in. I like to invest in the XRPs, XLM, HBAR, Quant, Algorand, Chainlink. These are projects that I'm seeing so many solid partnerships. I'm seeing so many solid developments from their team. And those are the projects that I like to invest on. I'm not a big meme coin guy, but I do get frustrated when I start to see meme coins absolutely go rampage. And I feel like I'm missing out. But that's not the case for these last few days. I definitely feel like I'm not missing out with XRP doing well, and these other cryptos that I just mentioned doing well. And, I actually got a sense of anxiety this morning because there's just so much that I have not done yet in my Merlin account. So, as soon as we jump off this, I'm actually going to dedicate a few hours to creating my exit strategy for some of my cryptos in my Merlin. But yeah, Abs, just super exciting time to be alive. Here you are driving to the gym, but you wanted to do this. And here I am trying to do my Merlin tasks, respond to these 30 people sitting right now in the unassigned inbox. But, we got to come here and just talk about this because, it's exciting.
And I want to give a special shout out to the people who are signing up as we're speaking. We can see people currently signing up for Merlin. So thank you so much. I believe that not only are you going to enjoy the product, we're going to help you lock in a lot of profit during this bull run. It's going to remove a lot of the emotion, a lot of the confusion, and put the power back in the hands of the people, as we like to say, guys. Now, if I could, I'd love to give JV just a chance to end it out and give us a closing word. I did just pull into the gym. I only got a half an hour to get a quick workout in here, guys. But I want to say I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate you spending time with us here on this Saturday. So with that being said, JV, floor is
Yeah,
yours.
absolutely. I'll just leave it with a motivational message. And, I'm very excited to be all here with all you guys. And, I say this after every single speech that I do. I say, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. So as we move into this new wave of reality, what's more important than anything is rewiring the foundation. If we don't rewire the foundation, we're going to end up in the exact same situation. And going back to our family coming together in 2020, 2021, this group, what we decided to do, we thought, man, we are the generational shifters within our family. But if we repeat the same cycles and if we take these profits and we buy Lambos and big houses and all these things, we're just going to end up in the same cycle and put our family in the same position. And so what we decided to do is we decided to understand that these markets, it's unrealistic to make this much money in a short amount of time, right? So we knew this was an anomaly. And so what we did is we took those profits, right? We visualized where we wanted to be. We got very clear on our future. Where did we want to be as we came into 2025? And we knew exactly where we wanted our portfolios to be. We wanted exactly where wanted our businesses to be. We knew exactly where we wanted our diversification to be. And we created that plan and we reverse engineered it, okay? So we went forward to 2025 and we reverse engineered it to the daily behaviors that we need to do. That's all you have to do. And then once you pick your plan, so all of you guys right now should be making a plan for 2030, reverse engineer it. So I know exactly where my insurance company will be. I know exactly where Merlin will be. I know exactly where 3T will be. All the other companies we own, I take those numbers with my CFO and with CFO and COO, and we reverse engineer that to the daily behaviors that we need to do. Now here's the rub. Once you do that, you have to be fucking disciplined and consistent every single day. That's all you have to do. Okay. You create the vision, reverse engineer it all the way to the daily activities, then you need to be disciplined and consistent. Motivation won't get you that far. Discipline and consistency, right? That's what's going to get you there. Now, I'll give you one other model that I want you guys to all write down. If you don't have a result, okay, write down A times E equals R. Activity times effectiveness equals results. Okay, if you guys have ever seen abs, he is absolutely shredded. That's the result. The reason is because he goes to the gym every fucking day and he's extremely effective with his workouts. Okay. So if he wasn't getting the result, he would look back. He said, say he's doing the activity. If he's not getting the results, he looks at the effectiveness, right? So say he stops getting results and maybe starts to gain some weight. He's still going to the gym, but he notices that he's eating a lot of carbohydrates or he's going out to dinner too much. That's the effectiveness. That's all we have to do. Everybody makes this so complex. And we think that if XRP goes to $100, it's going to save everything. It's not going to save anything. A lot of people are like, oh, when Trump comes in, I'm excited Trump's in presidency. I'm an RFK guy. I'm excited for Trump. It's been great for our businesses, for our portfolios. But Trump doesn't wake me up in the morning to go to the gym. Trump doesn't look at my text messages and my texting unethically or immorally. Trump isn't looking at my social media, isn't looking at my web browser. Those are things that I have to control. It was a lot different. It was a lot more difficult under Biden. We had a 19% cumulative inflation, but we still built wealth. We didn't let Biden stop us from being ethical. We did not let Biden stop us from going to the gym. We didn't let Biden stop us from building ecosystems and companies. And then the bear market collapsed. Everybody got all freaked out and was depressed during the bear market. We worked even harder in the bear market and built ecosystems and businesses outside of crypto so we don't have to rely on crypto. So I'll end with the stoic nature. Two books everybody should read is Miramata Musashi, The Five Rings, and Marcus Aurelius, okay, Meditations. Those are two of the most stoic leaders that we ever had or warriors that we've ever had in our society. And it really teaches you to take the middle ground and let's honor the all high Christ Jesus. He was one of the greatest stoics. He said, take the middle ground. Okay, take the middle ground. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. And so we'll wrap this all up with what I talked about, or we talked about the exit plan. That's what an exit plan does. When you have a strategy and you have a plan, you're not emotionally attached to these markets. You just slowly and methodically exit your plan or execute your plan. You diversify, you hold, you sit. You look, does it match in your 10-year plan? Are you doing the activities you need to do? And then you let the market come to you. Okay, don't chase markets. Don't chase people. Don't chase market. Don't chase business. Don't chase money. Let the market come to you. So take the middle ground, be stoic, be disciplined, be consistent. And as I always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to JV. Thank you to Mario. Thank you to Gonzo, Johnny Crypto, Jeremy, and every single person who joined us and listened today. I want to remind our listeners it's completely free. 30 days, merlincrypto.com. I've pinned the link in the spaces. Simply click on the link, use our software, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it so much, they'll stick around as well. So I want to say thank you once again. We love you. We appreciate you. Enjoy this positive energy. Enjoy the weekend. Go out and touch some grass. And like we always say, Warriors, get your shit together, baby. Thanks for joining
Let's
us.
go.
Thank you for tuning in to the Merlin Crypto Market Update located on the X app. I'm Abs, your host and Senior Engagement Officer at Merlin, and we hope you enjoyed this episode from our Merlin X Spaces. Remember, you can catch us live every other Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the X app at Get Merlin Crypto. If you want to take your crypto tracking to the next level, don't miss out on our free 30-day trial at merlincrypto.com. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.